Would you like to have lots of laughter in your marriage? If your answer to that question is yes, stay tuned. I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'm going to show you why you're not having laughter, why many believers do not have a lot of laughter in their marriage and they are struggling. If you're watching this or listening to it, you are a leader. You have chosen to lead as a man, and I like to speak to the man first, because I believe that if men would take leadership of their marriage early, when the woman picks it up and complains, many marriages will be good today. When you find that your marriage is not working well, you discover that your wife has checked out. She says she wants space. She says this is not working, or she doesn't see any of those things, but you don't see her trying anymore. She used to try to nag you, let's see a counselor, let's do this, let's do that, but now she's stopped. She's not asking for anything. She's not trying to fight for the marriage, and you're in panic mode. What do you think? What causes that? I want to say first thing is that both of you have a spiritual, or what I call a lack of love, to the point that you've been hurt in your mind, in your heart. You've been hurt. You have this wound in your spirit, in your soul. You're starving of what real love looks like, and you are taking it out on each other. That's why marriages struggle. There's something that you want. It's something that you thought you got when you met your spouse, and that thing is love. Is the unconditional love. You thought you found it, someone who knows you and loves you the way you are, only for her to now start attacking you for those very things that you thought she saw, and she loved you regardless. So that can be very painful. You feel defrauded, you feel cheated. And exactly the same thing is what she's experiencing. She thought that she's found that man who cares for her, who's going to love her regardless of her failures, who cares for her, not for the things she's going to do, not for the things she is expected to say, not to be a slave to them, but because you can see her and you love her. You ask after her. You're looking for what you can do for her. And she feels so good, and that's why she married you. But now, when she asks for those things, she feels, number one, she's surprised that she has to ask for those things, because the reason why she really loved you was because you were proactive in showing love to her. But now she has to ask for those things, and when she does, you are offended and you're angry, and so she feels defrauded as well. And that's why marriages struggle. Every marriage goes through this in some way or the other. I always do an exercise when I meet a person. I ask them a question: what would you like your marriage to be like when everything is good in, say, 5 years time, or 2 years time, or 1 year after working with me? What are you looking for? And they're going to say something like, I would like it if my husband or my wife can be blah blah blah. So for men, you find yourself saying, if my wife can just be less critical and more supportive, and if our words can be just kind and respectful, the marriage will be fantastic. That's what I hear people say, and the women will say the same thing, similar things. And when I hear that, I can see that this person before me is a normal person, is following the track that most people follow, and that's why I have so much confidence and to say to people that I can help you, because I can see that they are traditional. They are exactly the same as every other person that I've seen. As long as you have this dream that your wife is going to do one, two, three, or four things to help you, to make your life better, and you, of course, are willing to do something to make her life better, then I can help you. But that is exactly why your problem. That's why the problem occurred in the first place. You came into the marriage, and she came into the marriage with a desire, like a starving person who has not eaten for like a week or two. She's just been drinking water, and they are starving, and what you thought was real food was junk food. And when you gave them enough of the junk food, they were okay for a while, and now they are desiring real food. Unfortunately, you don't have any. You don't have any real food to give to them. Like you, the husband, you have no real food to give to your wife. And when I mean real food, I mean real unconditional love. You don't have it to give. And so she's attacking you that you're not giving the unconditional love that you promised. And at the same time, she also is doing the same thing, because she promised to give unconditional love, but she's giving what she thinks it is, but it's not. And you are also attacking her and saying, "Where's my unconditional love that you promised?" And that's why this is stalemate. How do you solve that kind of a problem? The very, very first step for anyone who's going to ever transition their marriage from wherever it is right now to the next step is to be able to see that next step in your mind. You need to have a vision for the next step. So I will ask you, what is the next step? I want you to ask for help to do something. Not do something to change her, but do something to help her. It's a different thing entirely. But of course, you need to learn so that you can help. And so it's going to start from you. If you come to me and say, "Ade, I know that my marriage can be good, and I've been trying to get my wife to be more respectful. I've been trying to get my wife to be engaged again because she gave up. She's given up on the marriage. Or I'm trying to get my wife to stop just telling all our stories all around because it frustrates me. How can you help me to present myself in such a way that this reduces and I can handle whatever she's going through?" That's a good place to be. Why? Because I will then be able to help you to do two things. Number one, to get stronger at influencing your spouse as a leader. But number two, to stop being triggered by the things that she's doing that you think is a big deal. Some of those things do not need to trigger you. Some of them need to be changed, because as a leader, you can influence your spouse. You're going to be saying something like, "I want to be able to show up in my marriage in such a way that my wife has no choice but to respect me. I want to learn to bring the power of Christ into my marriage and display the love of God in my marriage, such that the same way the Jesus impacted my life by his love, I can impact her life by the love of God that is flooding through my life. I want to help my wife become more of who God designed her to be. I want to present my marriage so strongly, so beautifully, that my wife will wonder, what kind of a blessing do I have to have a husband like this?" But if you are stuck in the place that you're saying, she's my problem, if she can't change, then I'm all right. How do we solve that problem? First thing is to redirect your attention from anyone else on earth, because you're a child of the Most High God, and center it on God. This is the source of love. This is the source of real love that can change your life. If you focus your attention on God and begin to draw from the love of God for you first, so that you're not as starved as you are, you will then have the clear eyes to see what's going on with your wife, and you'll be able to be a blessing. You begin to think, how can I stand with her, rather than how can I make her feed my starvation, solve my problem. I know nobody thinks that there are problems and they want to use their wife to solve it, but that's what's really happening if you think deeper about it. What you ought to be saying is, whatever the problem she has, they're my problems now, because I'm married to her, and I'm going to trust God to help me to to stand by her to overcome that. But in the real sense of it, as you try to do that, you may discover that it was you that was a problem in the first place. But you may not know that until you start the process of focusing your eyes on God and tapping into God's love that can change any situation. It's changing the world, and it will change you, change your spouse, and change everything that comes across its path when you release it. What you need to do right now is begin to dream, have that vision of the man that is full of God's power, and bringing that power into a marriage to transform that marriage. Dream about it and think about it, how you want to be as a person in your marriage. I want to be a person that brings laughter. When my wife is down, is doing her thing, I can transform the atmosphere of that home. I can pull her out of whatever problem she's in or mood she's in and stand by her. Now, of course, sometimes the problems that your spouse will have may be a mental illness, may have other challenges, addictions or demonic oppressions and all of that stuff. I'm not discounting all of that, but I'm saying wherever you are, you want to be a person who's standing with your wife to get the result that she needs. Once you start dreaming about that place where you want your marriage to be, you are blessed. Because when you don't know what love is, you can't give love. When you don't understand why God forgave you, you can't forgive others. When you don't understand what love is, you cannot have patience. And so, once I find a person, and if you want transformation, want joy and laughter, more of it in your home, the first thing is to see how that's going to happen. Dream about it. Dream about it. And dream about it from the point of view that God is pouring that laughter and that joy from you into the marriage. Not that you're getting it from somewhere. You choose to be the one that triggers it, that brings it. See it as that, and see the potential of that power, the power of that to change whatever your wife is going through. Now, once you have that, then you draw your attention to where the source is, because you're not the source. If you where the source, you won't be in this problem. You need to get it from outside you. You learn how to do that. You bring it into the marriage. You're going to get the transformation that you're looking for. I hope that helped you, my brothers and my sisters, because the same process. I'm just focusing on the men right now because I want to. I feel led to do that. May the Lord bless you and strengthen you. And until I see you next time, continue to live like Jesus and make mega impact. Love like Jesus as well. God bless you. Bye-bye.